Okay, Creative Cutie, here's something you should know. Since leaving corporate America, my podcast downloads have gone up by almost 200%. And it's not because I suddenly became a genius marketer. I can promise you that much. It's because my energy changed. I stopped pouring the majority of my creative energy into creating someone else's dream and finally started fully pouring it into myself. The energy behind something is just as important as the actual thing, if not more. So today, I'm going to share how you can utilize your energy to create similar shifts in your life, career, and creativity. Welcome to Unleash Your Inner Creative with Lauren LaGrasso. I'm Lauren LaGrasso. I'm your host, and this show is meant to give you tools to claim your birthright to creativity and go after your wildest dreams. So today we're podcasting from bed. You can see it if you're joining us on YouTube or Spotify. There is video on there, so definitely check it out. But if you're listening, that's cool too. Just know that I'm in bed right now. I'm going to share why the energy behind your work is just as important as the work itself, if not more. And how when you do this kind of energetic shift, the type of seismic growth you can see. Okay, so let me recircle around to the proof. Since leaving my full-time job and starting my own business, I have seen an almost 200% increase in my podcast downloads. And I haven't changed anything dramatically about my promotion strategy. If anything, I've actually been worse at promoting on social media and marketing lately. I haven't really been posting at all. The only real shift that I can point to is energetic. I stopped pouring the majority of my creative life force into somebody else's dream or company and started pouring it into myself and my own dreams. Now, you can say correlation is not causation. That's true. But patterns do exist. And when they happen multiple times over multiple years, they do matter. And this is not the first time I've seen a pattern of me putting my energy behind something full force and the numbers increasing. The ability to energetically boost downloads on podcasts is something I've noticed in my work as a producer and executive producer for years. Often, when I would join a show, I would see downloads go up dramatically under my influence once I started touching the podcast. Of course, there is a good argument to be made for the fact that I'm a really good producer. And when I was putting my creative content vision into a show, it had an impact in how the show is received. That, of course, is a part of it. But I always stood true to the fact that it was not just my content, vision, and execution. It was also my energy. I knew my energy had an effect, and I saw it over and over and over again. And I always wondered why I couldn't do the same thing for my own show and my own projects. It honestly kind of broke my heart. But I think now I have my answer. When I was still working in a corporate structure, no matter how hard I tried, no matter what I did to advance my show, the fact remained the same. As long as I had a full-time job, I always made that my first priority. It was paying the bills. I felt I owed it to them. And I genuinely loved the shows I was producing. So of course I wanted to pour into them and make them my number one baby. But I always let myself fall to the wayside and my own dreams fall to the wayside. But now, here, I'm propping myself up into the top position. And again, it's not that I've been pouring so much more time into the podcast. That's not really it. It's something much more subtle. There's a sense of deserving inside of me, that I deserve to be seen, that I am allowing myself to dream bigger dreams for my own life, for the show, for my creativity in general, of knowing now my business is my top priority, of not being afraid to get caught pursuing or daring to pursue an outside dream. The moment I stopped treating my dream like a side project was the moment other people stopped treating it that way too, even if they didn't know that's what they were doing. And it's not just the podcast either. I've seen it in other parts of my business. With relatively low effort, I've been able to get about a half dozen leads for my coaching and consulting business. A lot of them have converted, still waiting on a few, but it's looking and feeling good. And that, again, has come to me with relative ease. So I wanted to share this with you to let you know if something feels off, it could just be your energy. So if you're looking to make a similar shift in your life and creativity, it's a two-parter, really. You have to, one, feel the freedom and the right to take up space, and two, pour all your creative energy into your own endeavors. So what does this tell us? As much as you can, reduce the amount of effort you put into things that don't align with your ultimate goal. And 2, if you can't do that, which sometimes is the case for us, at least make a plan for shifting out of the places that you're prioritizing that you know don't align with your ultimate goal. Continue to prioritize while you're there if that's a commitment you've made, but keep your eyes on what your eventual prize is and know when you're going to make that leap. Because people can feel when you're finally all in on yourself. They can feel when you stop hiding, and they can feel when your energy is moving in one direction instead of being split between two worlds and prioritizing a world that isn't really your own. And that is the top lesson here. Once you start seeing yourself fully, the world will follow. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this shift in my creativity and my career. It means the world. If this episode resonated with you, please send it to a fellow creative. Podcasts really are shared person to person, and that kind of word of mouth really makes a big difference. You can share it on socials, give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and a rating on Spotify, and be sure to find us at Lauren LaGrasso and at Unleash Your Inner Creative. Remember, if you want to work with me as a creative coaching client or podcast consulting client, I do currently have some availability for new clients. You can reach out on my website's contact page or email me at lauren.lagrasso@gmail.com. Unleash Your Inner Creative is executive produced and hosted by me, Lauren LaGrasso, with music by Liz Full. I love you and I believe in you. Talk with you next week.